Hello everyone, my name is Cristian Negulescu. You know me for a lot of automation with UiPath. You have the Salesforce connector, ServiceNow connector, Jira connector, and so on. I did a lot of general videos about UiPath. Today we'll do 4 fast demos on UiPath. For a lot of for a full demo system, I have here a video with that I did around 800 demos with the clients on UiPath, and you have 1 hour demo with a lot of particular case. But today we'll do just for fast stuff to understand how to use UiPath for the beginners, okay? And some tips and tricks. So what I have, first time I will have a simple application. So on this simple application, I will create an automation very fast. So let's see how we do this. I am here inside of UiPath Studio. I will use the recorder. I will have the desktop recorder, web recorder, native Citrix, and so on. I will use the desktop recorder in my case. I will say record, and the recorder will follow my steps inside of the application. So let's say that on the first field, we'll put 100. On the second field, we put 500, and then we'll click the accept button. If we click escape and save this, the recorder built for me an automation using these steps. If I run this one, so if I go here and run this one, you will see that the robot will be able to perform exactly my steps, and this will be very fast. In my automation, I forgot to complete this field on us check. So let's add this manually. How we add this manually? We see what the robot used. The robot used type into, the recorder used type into activity. We'll go and search for the type into activity. We will drag and drop the type into activity here. We will indicate on the screen where I want to put this data. So I want to put this data here, and I can put the data like 300, yes? But the software is more complex. You are able to define variables. So you can define a variable here. We call it on us check. And on this variable, it's a string variable. You are able to use all types of variables from UiPath. Here you have all the types of variables from Visual Basic.net. In our case, we use string, and we'll put the default value. Let's say that it's space 4000 space. Yeah. Now, instead of 300, I can use this variable. So I can say here an on us check, and if I add a dot after the on us check, I'm able to use all the functions from Visual Basic.net. In my case, I will use the clean function that will remove the spaces from the beginning and the end of the string. Let's run it, and let's see what we have. So the robot is able to complete all the data. You see that it's able to put 400 there, and it was running very fast. Now, if I want, until now I showed you how to put data and click buttons, but if I want to get data from the screen, here, for example, if I want to get this transaction, I will use the get text activity. Get text activity. I will drag and drop. Get this element, create a variable. I will say Control K, create a variable result. And if we want to display this transaction, for example, I will use a message box and display this transaction. And I'll say transaction, it's transaction space result. Yeah. And in this way, I display this transaction. So the robot will put the data for me on all the fields, click the accept button, and extract the transaction, which is 439086. Good. So this was the first demo. But let's do another thing. Let's try to add data from this Excel and put it on the on our application. If you have, let's put out some condition. If the cache-in it's under 100, we'll drop the data. If the cache-in is over 100, we'll put the data on the application. So to be able to create this, I use the complex flow. So here it's a flow chart. Here I have a sequence that was a linear automation. Here you can say put the condition and so on. Let's see what I have there. First step, it's I start and read the file. So I read the file, and this create a data table. This data table, like you see on this Excel, has 2 columns: cache-in, not as check, and it has 5 rows. Yeah. So I will initialize a variable that will count the rows. So CNT it's for count, and by default it's 0. And I will have 2 variables, string variable for cache-in and not as check for my variable. Yeah. So first I will say get data from a row. So I will say data table count is 0 in my first case, and I want the data from the cache-in column. Yeah. So with this data from this cache-in column, I will make a condition. If the value is over 100, I will get the data from the second column. If the value is under 100, I will say that the value is too small and go to the next line. So we'll go to the next line. If the value is over 100, So in this case, it's over 100. I will go and read this column. To be able to read this column, the same procedure, I will say DT count to indicate the row, and then I will say that I want the data from the not check column. Okay, and this will be saved on not check. So if the first value it's saved on caching variable, and the second value it's saved on not check variable. Then remember the sequence that we create on the first flow. We have it here, and instead of 100, I have the caching variable, and instead of not as check, we have the instead of 500, we have the not as check variable. So I just add the variables inside of our sequence. Then we increment the row to go to the next row, and then on the end we have a condition. If we have another row, so if we are here and we have another row, we go back and redo the steps. If we arrive to the last row here, then we'll exit and we'll say that the process is ended. So let's run this one to see how it's working. So first, the robot will read 21, which is under 100. So we'll drop this line. Then we have 435. Put the data on the application, and then get the transaction number 439087. Then it's for 45, which is under 100. Then we have 234. Put the data on the application. Click the button, get the transaction number. Then 1245. Put the data on the application. Click the button and get the transaction number. And now, because we arrived to the last line, the system will be sent process end. So this is the second example how to do something fast on UiPath, taking the data from the Excel application and put it inside of a software. But let's see something else. So something else, let's see this one. So you can have a software that is a web page or a software that is changing dynamically. So the fields you see, they are not on the same location. So for example, in my case, this is moving. So I want to complete company name, and on the company name, I want to put UiPath. To be able to do this, I will use an anchor base. I will create a new sequence, and I will say test dim. And then here, to be able to work with this one, like I said, I will use an anchor base. And then in this way, I am able to connect elements. So first, I will find the company name. So I will find an element, and I will drag and drop this find element. And then what I need to type into, yeah? So I need to type into. Okay. So you see, here he's able to build a connection between elements. So what I will do, I will find an element, which my element is company name, and I will type into on the element that is near company name, yeah? And what I will put on the company name, I will put UiPath. Okay, done. So let's run this one. So on the company name, he put UiPath. Perfect. But if I go here and if I will refresh this one, you see that company name here is on this position. So if I run it again, you will see that the robot will be able to find the company name. And my bad, I think I don't indicate it well. Yep, here it's able to find the company name and put UiPath. Yeah, my bad. So that's the idea. You have to make an anchor between an element with a name, with a stable name, and type into activity. Next, the last step, I want to show you how fast I'm able to extract the data from a web page and then write it to the send an email with this data. So I will extract this data from Google Finance and write an email very fast. So let's say here, sequence, email DD. Okay, to be able to use this, I will use the data scraping. From here on the top, you have the data scraping activity. With this data scraping activity, you go and select an element. The system is able to identify that here I have a table. And I say, yes, I have a table. He extracts the data from the table, he finish, and then the system will ask me if I have a next page. If you have a table with multiple pages, you are able to indicate them the next page. In my case, I don't have multiple pages. So he extracts the data from the table. Then I will write the data on a CSV file. I'll write CSV. Okay. I'll write data on the CSV file. Let's say that it's TCSV like this. And my data table, it's extract data table. Then let's write an email. Let's write Outlook. Send an email with Outlook. So I'll send an email to me, which is cinegulescu at gmail.com. Yeah, the tested subject test robo YouTube. Okay, and here you have a text, you have a table. Yeah, let's put it with all the misspells. And then here I have to put it without the misspells. Yeah, so test CSV done. Run. So I'll run the email. The robot will go in the background. He extracts the data from my web page, and then the system will be able to send me an email. The robot is already finished. I can do everything that I want in this time because everything was on the background. And now I will go to my Gmail, on my Gmail account, and let's see how fast it was. On my Gmail account, you see that I have test robo YouTube. You have the table with my misspells, and here I have all the data. And if you check on the Yahoo Finance, it's minus 4139 and so on. Yeah. So you can see how fast I implement this stuff. Here, the trick was that I use Outlook, and he automatically take my all my configuration of the email from Outlook. Yeah. So these are the way how to build very fast automation with UiPath to demo to someone that is new how UiPath is working and what is the reason of automation. If you want complex stuff, you find it on my YouTube page, and you have here also a full demo that I make years ago with all the steps. It's 1 hour. As usual, if you like my videos, please come and subscribe to my channel. Thumbs up to my videos, or tell me what is wrong with my videos, and also comment on videos to tell me what else you want to see inside of my videos. Have a good one. Stay safe. Bye-bye.